Hi, I'm Lauren Elkes with The Real Deal magazine. We are inside the home of Barbara Corcoran, founder of the Corcoran Group. She and her husband live in a spread on Park Avenue and 94th Street. Barbara is the founder of the Corcoran Group. She speaks about the home market to millions of Americans on the Today Show. She is on the show Shark Tank, a reality show, and she has a recently released book called Shark Tales. So The Real Deal decided to check out her spread and see how she and her husband and her children live. So this is
my runway.
This is your runway. Is this how it was when you first moved in?
No, it wasn't. What I
do
had here is I had a lot of doors. I had the door to the den, I had the door to the second bedroom, the door to the third bedroom, plus a wall of closets. So it was really like the hallway of doors. Over on this side, I had a door to the kitchen. I had another door to a closet. So I eliminated all the doors, and it made this a real room that you could really use. And that's what I was after. I knew I had to make this nice. Now the problem was it looked like a long skinny hall, so then I put the columns in because it gave a rhythm to the space and it kind of made it feel like it was a little special. And then the problem was, what do you put on the walls? I sure as hell was not going to go out and spend a lot of money on art, and I don't have the taste anyway. So I simply went to Pottery Barn, got all the frames I could possibly buy all in one stop. Took me probably, I would say, an hour and a half to do that. I came back and I got all my old photos and the kids' artwork out, mostly Tommy's artwork, now Kate's artwork a little bit. And I just put them all in the frames, and there we have it. I think I got this beautiful fancy gallery for probably under maybe $200. I'm not sure what the footage is, honestly, but it's 30-something, so whatever that is. And we have 3 bedrooms, but I converted one to a TV room or a den or a library, or all 3 actually into one. I paid $3.5 for it, and we've been here about 10 years, so whatever that year was. Before we moved up to 94th and Park, we were on 72nd and 3rd, a far more convenient location. It felt like everything was within a block, but Tommy was going to a kindergarten that was at 89th and Madison, St. David's, and I just wanted to walk him to school. I just had it in my head. I had to walk him to school. And as it turned out, my office was on 61st Street, and it gave me a longer jaunt to walk to work. So it really worked out beautifully, and I love it up here. It's about as close as you could get to being in the suburbs without really moving to the suburbs. It feels quiet up here. I really like it a lot.
How often would you say that you guys stay here?
We're here most of the year. We have a lovely country house, but we rarely go up anymore. I've gotten too lazy. And we're here most of the time, except for vacations, definitely. We move out in summer to the beach in Fire Island, but the rest of the year we're hanging here, and we like it here.
Okay, so let's go. Let's maybe look at the dining room first.
Well, this room actually was where I made the decision instantly to buy this apartment. And you know what turned me on? That window, because I have a little sliver of Central Park in the water. And I came into the apartment through the service entrance because the guy didn't want to show me the apartment. I had gotten in early through a tip from one of my brokers. And so he reluctantly let me in through his kitchen. So that was my first impact, or first impression, I should say, of the apartment. Bang! I could put a bench there and I could be happily ever after. And I think you have to have that connection kind of to really have a place that you're going to love. It's not quite right. I go like this. I put my feet up without my shoes, of course, because I have shoes on just for you today. And I read my book, all right? I could see everything going on. I could be bossy. I could say, Tommy, you doing your homework? Hey, Tommy, what are you doing in the kitchen? Bill, don't eat those cookies. We're having dinner in 10 minutes. Don't you eat those cookies? All right? I can just be bossy as could be and just go back and feel like I'm in control of my kingdom. Now, here's the thing. What view do I have here? I have the sky here, but I also know, even though I'm looking at the sky, I know I have a peek of the park here. I don't face it all the time, but I know it's just waiting for me, so I'm really, really happy. Somebody wants to sit and talk to me like you got a spot. The kids want to sit here. If I want to reprimand, they sit here. The timeout is here. Everything is here.
The timeout is here?
Definitely for Kate and Bill and Tommy. Oh, Bill, that's a Freudian slip. My husband, he needs a timeout. But the thing is that it satisfies all those purposes, is what I'm saying. And so this is very important. They have a spot that you could really see yourself. And I saw it, and definitely this is my most favorite spot. What you could afford has something to do with certainly how much money you have, how much cash you have in the bank. But you know what else it has to do with? How comfortable you are spending it and your value system. I mean, for me to actually have spent $3.5 million on an apartment when I grew up in a house with 2 bedrooms and 10 kids in it, and my parents slept in the living room, it was hard for me to feel comfortable with that. Now, here we are, 10 years later. I'm pretty comfortable with it. I think I deserved it because I worked my ass off my whole life. But the truth of the matter is, you have to feel, I'd feel go in a fifth. I love that view, but I would feel unconscionable. Isn't that ridiculous? It's a guilt thing. It's a Catholic thing.
So do you cook? Do you cook yourself?
Not Monday through Friday. Okay, I have a housekeeper that comes in, and every day I come home at 6:30. We have a meal together as a family, and she has made the meal. And let me tell you something. I could be in the poorhouse. The last person I would ever say, don't come into work, is Lisa, who cooks that meal. Do you know, when I discovered that, which was probably maybe 5 years ago, my life changed. Do you know how nice it is to work a 12-hour day, come home and know mother has your meal waiting on the table, and I'm not the mother? It's great. I do the cleanup, happily do the cleanup, happy to clean up. I just don't make that meal. I love it. But on weekends, I'm a cook. I don't have a big repertoire. Our son Tommy is 17. He just turned 17. He's a sweetheart of a kid. I have never had a bad day with Tom. Had a hard time getting pregnant with him. Took me 7 years to have a baby. But once I had that baby, God rewarded me with an easy boy. He's a sweetheart of a kid. And then I have Kate, who we adopted 5 years ago. And Kate is a challenge in her learning because she has some hearing disorder. But she's slaying that dragon. She's a hard hustler, a worker, and she has a charm that can't be beat. She's a happy kid. And so those are my two, pride and joy. Most important thing in my life. I'm just mourning already the fact that Tommy's going to go to college in a year. We are going to move with him. I don't care if he doesn't like it. I am definitely going to buy a place wherever he goes to college. I hope he picks a warm climate. I can't tell you how many hours I spent thinking of every detail. I'm very anal on building every inch of the apartment because I thought of what do I need a spot for and how does it work. And so this I knew was the right place for this. I knew I needed wine bottles. Everybody kind of needs wine bottles. What's great about this kitchen is the way it's laid out. This is really where I cook here. And to tell you the truth, this was a mistake. I should have pushed that cabinet back. It feels a little crouched. Then, to try to fix up my mistake, I gotta wet my fingers to pull this out. Here's the chopping board, right? Ooh, it wasn't even clean last time, okay? But the truth of the matter is it's a pain in the ass because it moves around. So I tried to fix my misjudgment of putting this cabinet in. I should have left this cabinet off so that I had more room to chop because this is the chopping board where everybody works, okay? But we have two sinks here. All right, which is great, especially when you have a crowd, because you could dump everything there and you could still work with that sink. Here's my washer and dryer. I had to move out of my son's maid's room. Okay, I hated to give up that space, but there they are. They're quiet as could be. Why is a 6-foot, 17-year-old teenager in the smallest room in the house, the darkest room in the house, and the messiest room in the house with no view? Because he wants it. It's within 4 feet of the refrigerator, and it's 35 feet away from his mother and father. He begged me for this room, all right? But what did I have to give up? This used to be my little office. This used to be a little guest room. It was big enough for one bed. It was so useful. I hated to give it to him. But the thing is, it made for a happy teenager. Look at this. This is so odd. When he shaves, this poor kid, because remember, this was designed as a miniature guest powder.
Oh, my gosh.
He's like shaving like this.
Oh, my gosh.
He's washing like this big hunk of a kid. But guess what? He wants it. This is my control central. So I sit here, okay? That's my seat. I'm looking for a chair. See, I have a spot right for it there. Perfect for a chair. But the thing is this works, okay? I don't sit for very long. Usually what I need, I get done and I just move on. Okay, close it up, okay? And then down here, all these drawers, old floor plans. This is my son's college education, school scores, you know, how I organize that. And this is Kate's drawer, but I lost the key, so I don't want to chip my nail on it. Okay, let me show you my potting area. All right, so for example, everybody, not everybody, but a lot of these old buildings have common halls. Potting makes a mess, right? You remove this, you dump it. So you're not going to wake anybody up. See that 3 knots, it's done. You flip this, it becomes your area. Okay, so this pot, yeah, that should fit. So here, these never fit. This is a cheap-ass plant that you buy. You know, it was like $6, right? But you can make it look really nice, right? You have to pull off some of the bottom because my pots aren't square like that. And they don't need these roots, by the way. You stick them in. Give it a good shake. Get some of the rest of it in because I took away too much at the bottom in rushing. Knock it in, okay? Done. But here's the best part, right? So that goes to the kitchen. It's done. Here's the best part. Why use your house for a mess? There you go. This living room, doesn't it look lovely?
Yes.
The only time I'm in this living room is when my husband and I play Scrabble, which is usually sometimes twice a week. I set a fire, and Bill and I will play Scrabble for as long as a door of flame burns, which is roughly an hour and a half. Bill is retired for almost 9 years now. He was a Navy captain. He was an FBI agent. He built a real estate business in New Jersey. That's how I met him in Bergen County, New Jersey. And then he realized he was married to me and retired. Bill reads. He's a gentleman. He sits on a few boards. He has a very leisurely life. My husband, Bill. He's my opposite. I've married my opposite in every way. He's definitely got the most popular room among her class. All the kids like to play here. So if they're not in the park or if it's off weather and they need a place to play, they always come to Kate's house. All they do is go through the tunnel. This is where Bill and I sleep. Not a lot of action in this room. We've been married for 22 years. That poor old guy. Right. Bill said I should be able to write a book on how to avoid sex, and he's right, because I have 500 reasons easily. The best one is that a cold sore on my lip, honey? And then right away, he's lost interest. We sit on this chair, to put our pants on. Well, this is actually, Bill is not the most organized guy. So I keep buying stuff for Bill so that he could organize himself. Actually, I have to be honest with you, I am impressed. He must have cleaned this up. This is usually, things fall out as you open it.
It's organized.
This is Bill's closet, which for a grown man shouldn't really be. He should have a better closet. It's double racked. It's so hard to get his stuff out. I work out here on my mat. It's under the bed. I pull it into the ramp, where I have all my staging, and I work out right there. So I work out 3 mornings a week, an hour.
By yourself, or?
Of course not. I would never work out by myself. Thank God I'm rich enough to have a trainer. If I didn't have a trainer, I would be in terrible shape. Forget it. I'm not one of those people that's going to get up to work out. I have my tops here. Here's a great system. It's so simple. This is my miscellany thing. Excess makeup, whatever.
Here we are hanging out in Bab's favorite spot in her apartment. I'm Lauren Elkes, and this is The Real Deal.